INEC reminds new residential electoral commissioners of their allegiance to the nation as key elections in Edo and Ondo states draw closer. Rivers State set date for local government elections as issues around local government autonomy continue to generate debate. Political parties recalibrate to get better ratings with the people. And also on Political Update today, tackling insecurity with proactive legislations. We have these and more on the program. Stay tuned. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has urged staff to always remember that their loyalty and allegiance is to the country as they discharge their responsibilities. Professor Yakubu made the call at an induction retreat for 10 new resident electoral commissioners organized by INEC and other partners held in Lagos.
This retreat is to induct 10 new resident electoral commissioners, RECs, to spearhead the affairs of the nation's electoral umpire at the state level. It is an opportunity for them to be introduced to reforms and innovations in the commission, as well as broaden their perspectives on their roles and responsibilities. While declaring the event open, Chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, urged the resident electoral commissioners to focus on acquainting themselves more with the processes and procedures of the commission.
It is an opportunity to review performance, reappraise processes, discuss innovations, engage service providers, interface with lawmakers on critical areas of reform, and explore new frontiers in our continuous effort to improve organizational capacity of the Commission for better service delivery.
With 4 major elections, among others, coming up before the 2027 general polls, the RECs were urged to promote transparency and credibility while delivering acceptable elections.
This platform affords everyone an opportunity for continuous learning, growth, and collaboration.
You have to be very detail-oriented, and you will have to do everything under an enormous pressure which comes from left, right, and center.
I want to reassert our continued support in advancing the aspiration of this commission.
Meanwhile, local government elections will hold in Rivers State in October 2024 across the 23 local government areas of the state. Chairman, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RCEC, Justice Adolphus Enebeli, retired, announced guidelines for the election at a stakeholders meeting at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt.
We obtain a timetable and guidelines for all the political parties and people here present.
Unveiling the timetable of activities for the 2024 local government polls in the state to the gathering of critical stakeholders, Chairman, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISEC, Justice Adolphus Enebeli, retired, restated that RISEC is determined to carry out its duties as enshrined in the laws. He emphasized that the rules and guidelines were set for the good of all and not skewed against any political party or individual. The RISEC boss appealed to politicians aspiring to contest for positions to do so in a civil and disciplined manner and to play by the rules.
As we address the issue before us, let us remain committed to constructive engagement aimed at collective goals and the advancement of our common desire for a free, fair, credible, satisfactory, acceptable, and violence-free local government election.
The meeting had in attendance leaders of all registered political parties, traditional rulers, security agencies, religious organizations, the media, professional organizations, civil society groups, and non-governmental organizations.
And as Rivers State gears up for local government elections in October, one of the key issues identified in the percolation of dividends of democracy to the people is local government autonomy. Many say this will facilitate better accountability from the grassroots and ensure direct impact on key projects of importance to the people. Our former lawmaker and board member, Northeast Development Commission, Sam Onuigbo, joins us now. Thank you for joining us again, Honorable.
Thank you very much indeed, Fisayo.
Now, we have cases of insecurity, food shortages, infrastructural deficits, and so on, leading to tension in some communities. Do you still believe strengthening the local authorities will help ameliorate these issues?
Yes, I believe so, and I agree so, and I think I've spoken on that on a number of occasions. Because leadership, you can formulate policies, you can make laws at the top there, but if it does not touch the grassroots and have direct impact on them, then you discover that it now becomes an exercise in futility. So there's need to strengthen the local government and ensure that they participate in what we are doing. And of course, that was the position, when we started this democratic dispensation between 1999 to sometime around 2007 or before then, when local government chairmen could embark on projects that touched on the lives of the people. And individuals within such local governments always were in touch with the chairman and his councillors, because there was a productive, symbiotic relationship. But that's not exactly what is happening today, because the local governments gradually appear to be detached from the people. So making such a law has the potential to reposition local government and enable us to grow from the grassroots up to the state and then to the federal capital.
Well, when you say detached from the people, is it as a result of the way the local government chairmen were being recruited, perhaps or imposed in some cases, and in some cases some local governments even who didn't have real chairmen, only caretakers for years and years on. Somehow that whole package in terms of administration became something of an empty shell?
Yes, to a very large extent. Local government system is guaranteed by this constitution in section 7. And we're supposed to have local government where we see participatory democracy in its real shape and sense. But like you observed, and like has been said even by some former governors, that they truly do not conduct elections, that they write these names and announce them. They get the state independent electoral commissions to announce those names, and they call it election. So once that has been weakened, you discover now that the local government chairmen do not truly have that autonomy to be able to engage with the grassroots. I'm happy that a few former governors have spoken on this, so it's not as if it's coming from a former legislator alone. And that's been a problem, because in some cases, these elections were just announced. And you discover that in each state where you have a particular political party in power, they win all the chairmanship and councillorship elections. It's very, very unlikely to have such a scenario, that you do not have people coming from party A and party B being popular within their community to be so elected. So that's a source of concern, and that has weakened, significantly how the local government has been operating, for some time now, and it has led to serious detachment, because some of the local governments, in those days when I worked for the U.S. government, when we go out there and see what's going on, you will find that the people are no longer there in touch with the local government chairman, because those ones have nothing truly positive to do with the grassroots, except when the allocation comes and they get maybe what they call security vote. And after that, the whole place literally ceases to function.
It interests me that you mentioned the word security votes, and you have in one time or the other linked some of the challenges we've had at the grassroots level and in some communities in Nigeria to perhaps weak administrative structure from the local government level, including insecurity. How do you link it?
Oh, it's very simple, very clear. I think earlier when I spoke, I talked about the local government chairman being in touch with the people. They know who is where, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Those are the grassroots. They know who is where. So when a local government chairman is truly empowered, has resources to dispense, he's able to rein in those who are causing problems and even put them into other good uses in terms of getting them to supervise projects, getting them to go around and make sure that they bring together those that they know that are causing trouble. So that in a situation where the local government chairman does not have the resources to dispense and to bring these people around, then things are beginning to crack open. If you have, well, we have good and bad individuals within communities. If you know those ones that are creating problems, if you can engage them in a more productive way, where they have some sense of belonging, now you discover now that they'll be able to assist the local government chairman and the community as a whole in making sure that there is peace, instead of them being in the bush and causing trouble. They now wear some clean dresses and pose as either assistants or supervisors. You know, you have supervisory counselors that go to see projects and all that. So, but when you do not engage them in such a meaningful exercise, then they find other ways. And that's why you have a clear link between lack of activities in the local government and the level of insecurity that we have. There's no doubt about that.
All right, the Attorney General of the Federation is in court. He seems to be, fighting vested interests. Will he succeed? And how should we continue after, some of the prayers that is put before the courts?
Oh, well, a matter that is sub judice, I'll probably not be able to issue a direct opinion. However, I think that if the Attorney General, and here who represents the number one citizen, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, if they go forward and discuss it, maybe whatever judicial thing that is coming out, but it's going to involve making everyone know, the governors and other, stakeholders, that it is in everybody's interest for us to have a very, active, very productive local government system. And that way, resources that are taken from the federation account and sent down to the local government so they can get to them, because nobody truly wants any kind of problems, either coming from the rural community or so. So I have a feeling that somewhere along the line, when this is made open, that everyone will benefit if the local government is working, and everyone, including the governors and others, then we run the risk of losing if things are not allowed to run in a stable fashion. So I am very hopeful that the Attorney General and the federal government, that they'll be able to achieve some success in this case, once everyone understands that we all stand to lose if things are not run in order.
And if government at that level is so terribly weakened. Yeah. Let's move forward now. Still talking elections, some leaders of the People's Democratic Party have expressed the hope that the PDP will emerge victorious in the forthcoming September 21 and November 16, 2024 governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states respectively. They were speaking after a stakeholders meeting between them and members of the National Working Committee of the party and stakeholders in those states.
That we shall win in Edo State, and I will hope that we will continue to have the cooperation and support of the party leadership. I'm sure you know all that is necessary to win elections. All that is necessary to win elections. And I believe that you will make that available to us in Edo State. All from the National Working Committee and from all other states that we control in this country.
A good leader can define a generation. And many of you governors have done it in your states. PDP cannot be said to be a failed party. You're doing so well. What is left with us, and I'm going to appeal to the governors, support us and see how far we can take this country before 2027. For all of us here, this great moment will be a testimony for what we do in Edo and Ondo State in November, when our people are sworn in as governors of these two darling states.
The National Executive Committee of the factional New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has extended the suspension of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State from the party to December 2024.
It will be recalled that the only governor of New Nigeria People's Party, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State, was suspended by the factional NNPP in February this year for an alleged act of insubordination to party authority. In the same vein, the National Executive Committee of the faction of the party in a meeting also confirmed that the presidential candidate of the party in 2023, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has been expelled from the party. National Secretary of the factional party, Comrade Olakpasi Ogini, in a statement confirmed the expulsion of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso after the fact-finding committee and the conflict resolutions committee submitted their reports to the National Executive Committee for ratification. The fact-finding committee and the conflict resolutions committee indicted the former governor of Kano State of an attempt to forcefully hijack the party. Consequently, the factional National Executive Committee of the NNPP unanimously ratified and confirmed the expulsion of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, was notified and duly informed in writing in accordance with the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as the National Executive Committee also resolved that INEC should update its records according to the resolutions of the National Executive Committee meeting.
All right, we'll be getting responses of, the so-called allegedly expelled members of the NNPP and getting their reactions as well. But in terms of, conflicts and reconciliation, other parties are also going through that. The All Progressives Congress in Plateau State is putting all measures in place to reconcile members of the party ahead of future elections. This is the position of members at the reconciliation meeting of the party attended by party leaders in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital.
In attendance were the former governors, former deputy governors, former minister, former and present National Assembly members, members of the State House of Assembly, members of State Working Committee, among others. The meeting is to reconcile members of APC in Plateau State due to the fallout of the party during the 2023 general elections. APC Plateau State Reconciliation Committee, Ahmed Idris Wase, enjoins party stakeholders to seek genuine reconciliation and work in unison. Other speakers say for APC to reclaim Plateau State, party members must close ranks and seek forgiveness to increase the party's chances in future elections.
When we went to campaign, there was people who did not even step in their local government until we finish campaign. But immediately they are allowed to campaign, we will see people coming out. But that is not what that's supposed to be.
Please, you didn't come in the name of the area or in the name of APC. Let us resolve our problem in election that we will be better than we need.
Peace is all that I need. And by the grace of God, this coming will be back to peace.
The party is having a taste of opposition, and I'm sure it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. But we have the opportunity now to right the wrong.
A similar reconciliation meeting is expected to be replicated across the states.
We still have former lawmaker Simon Ugbo right here with us and talking about legislation for development just in the next 5 to 6 minutes. Ugbo, you've seen new members wanting this 1 year of the current House of Assembly and of course of particular interest the House of Representatives. Looking at the myriad of challenges that the nation is confronted with, which areas would you be looking at seeking legislative intervention to make sure that society continues to go on an even keel?
Well, thank you, Fisai. Well, I think the current National Assembly, they're really working, they're trying to really get things together, given the challenges that we have. And they've come up with a number of legislations that Mr. President has assented to. However, one thing that is important now is coming up with the legislations in the area of agriculture to make sure that we take advantage of the arable land that we have in Nigeria, which is massive. And we have the potential to be able to produce enough food for our people to stem or arrest the problem of high cost of food. So So from this angle, I would like to commend the efforts of the federal government and the Minister of Agriculture in trying to address the issue of food insecurity in the country. And as they are working on now, distributing fertilizers and things like that, I would like to see a situation where we also get legislations that encourage, federal government agencies, and by extension, the states. We are not legislating, the National Assembly is not legislating for states, I must make that clarification. But there are some things that you do at the national level that are easily domesticated at the state level. So I would like to see that situation. And then how we get back to the issue of industrialization. Some legislations. For instance, during the 9th Assembly, we were able to amend the Constitution, move electricity from the exclusive to the concurrent list, and then followed up with the Electricity Act, which President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, was able to sign just about 10 days after he assumed office. So there are some far-reaching, actions that can be derived from that. Then from that Electricity Act, you must have seen that even the states now have also started, making their own laws, domesticating this to enable them make electricity available and enhance industrialization and growth all around, in all ramifications.
Let's talk about productivity and, very quickly, the agri sector. We can't run away from the fact that, of course, there was some such shortages witnessed in recent times. But some of them also have been, put on the doorstep of, climate change, which you have been one of the champions of, the bill. You are the champion of the bill. You sponsored the bill in the 9th Assembly, and before then, in the 8th Assembly, when it didn't quite sail through. What would you be expecting that sector to be doing now? The bill is there, everything is in place. What actions are you expecting very quickly to make sure that we enjoy the low-hanging fruits of that sector?
It's out there for the nation to benefit from. But again, it's important to know that issues of climate change are not restricted to one country. We know that we can mobilize finance for us to be able to achieve those basic things. And we can also benefit from the issue of renewable energy, which of course is making energy accessible to a lot of people at affordable prices. We can deepen and broaden this for the benefit of the nation.
That has been political update for today. Many thanks to Honorable Onuigbo. Expecting that your commission, you are a member of the Northeast Development Commission, would intensify efforts in that region in view of recent developments.
Well, that's true. The commission has been doing a lot. If there was a problem, within a region, it does not mean that the commission has not been, moving ahead. There are visible evidence of successful actions by the commission, and the commission intends to continue along that line in tackling issues of climate change, making sure that people have access to production in the area of agriculture. And of course, for you to be able to do that successfully, you also need to beef up security. So together, these issues are being addressed with support from the federal government. And I'm looking forward to a very bright future.
We've had Honorable Sam Onuigbo, former lawmaker and current board member of the Northeast Development Commission, on political update today. We'll be back again on Friday for another program. Between now and then, please play your politics for the greater good of the country and keep it locked on Nigerian Television Authority for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.